Folks, we are elite killers, but we're also super big nerds. So today we are going to be presented with a fantasy battle scenario, and we have to pick our dream team of soldiers to fight that battle for us.
The way we organized our teams is in a fire team composition, which is composed of 4 elite soldiers: your team leader, your saw gunner, which is your squad automatic weapon, your grenadier, who shoots the grenade launcher, and a rifleman.
Now, Cameron, we're going to try to choose people that we think might fit into those positions generally, because we're talking about a fantasy battle, so there's not going to be a lot of grenades or saws going around.
When I composed my list, man, I'll be honest, I did not pick people to fill those very specific roles.
All right, I don't feel so bad, because I did not either.
The Battle of Pelennor Fields, right?
Yes.
One of the most iconic battles in pop culture. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Big field. A lot going on.
Yeah, you've got Minas Tirith, you've got Pelennor Fields, you got the enemies attacking, you got the waves of orcs, the giant elephants and their dudes, the Corsair ships after them.
Yep.
It's a huge battle. You got the Rohirrim riding in, that's our cavalry. It's a mess, folks. So who are we going to put in the midst of this mess to fight our battles for us?
The goal of this draft is to hold off the enemy until reinforcements arrive. So,
until Aragorn comes with the Ghost Army. We've given ourselves permission to choose from a wide array of fantasy movies. I'm very excited to share my list with you.
Team leader spot first. Do you mind if I go?
Go for it, man. Who's your team leader?
Ironic, because you said we're waiting for him to arrive with the Ghost Army. But
wait a second.
But this is my world.
Are you changing J.R. Tolkien lore?
I am. I did it on Amazon. Why can't I do it on Shift Fire? So, Aragorn is my team leader.
Interesting choice. Why? Why Aragorn of all people?
Easy pick for me. Natural born leader. He is the wielder of Anduril, the sword that cut the fingers so epically
cut the ring from Sauron.
Off of Sauron, so he possesses a magic sword. He is the true king of Gondor.
Right.
And he is, most importantly, a ranger.
You're right, he is an actual ranger.
He is a ranger.
So he knows what it's like to be in the trenches with the enlisted and a king.
Absolutely. So, he's very humble. He's a fierce warrior, fearless leader. So I think he is more than appropriate to lead the fire team. Plus, we are in his element, the Lord of the Rings universe. So it was a no-brainer for me, man.
I really like this first choice that you came up with, Cameron. It seems a little on the nose, but I'm going to give it to you.
That's where I hit it. Always on the nose, right in the center of the face, every time.
My pick for team leader is another king, actually.
Oh.
The king of old from Excalibur from 1981, King Arthur.
Oh, wow.
A leader of men. He also came up from nothing. He was but a peasant.
But a peasant boy.
He drew the sword from the stone. Yes. And
Huzzah!
King. This was the symbol of his kingship. Great leader. We're going to keep him away from the women because he has some lady problems and love triangles in the Excalibur lore. Also a great leader. My squad would follow him anywhere. Perfect fantasy pick. I went classic fantasy for this.
Sure. No, that is OG fantasy.
Is Excalibur older than Lord of the Rings?
Absolutely.
First?
Excalibur is
it's like hundreds.
It's an epic tale.
Thousands. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up watching this movie. It's a big influence on why I love fantasy and sci-fi.
Awesome pick, dude. To be honest, you got, a guy who's been in a leadership role for a long time. Combat experience, fighting whatever armies that have been trying to take over the land of Camelot.
Sometimes
the castle of
people,
Camelot.
Yeah, sometimes the demons from his past, He's got a wizard on his side, just like Aragorn does, so.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, next up, folks, we're going to choose the Saw Gunner. And there's a kind of a hierarchy that we're going down, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So my Saw Gunner has a lot of life experience. You might say that he has hundreds of years of life experience. I chose from the movie The Highlander, Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. He's an amazing swordsman, so it fits right within the context of the Battle of Pelennor Field.
Sure.
And bonus, he's immortal. So if he gets killed, then he's just going to come back. That's a little perk. A perk that comes with the job.
Is a perk.
I think he would be a great kind of right-hand man to King Arthur. Like he's used to playing all sorts of different roles because he's lived for hundreds of years. So Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, my Saw Gunner.
Highlander movies completely went over my head when I was picking my list. So good on you.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That's an old one.
But there can only be one.
That's right.
There can only be one, so you might have some dynamic issues there.
That's right. At the end there, yep.
Yeah, that's fine. I won't have any of those issues because my Saw Gunner is a very loyal warrior from the World of Warcraft franchise, Orgrim Doomhammer.
Yes, Orgrim Doomhammer. Tell me of this Orgrim Doomhammer.
Orgrim Doomhammer is a very famous orc character from the Warcraft franchise, and he is an amazing friend to Durotan, which made me pick him for his loyalty, but also he is a fierce warrior. He wields the very famous Doom Hammer.
The greatest name for a hammer
It
ever.
is. It's
I
the
would
hammer of
name
Doom,
everything. Every hammer I have is going to be called Doom Hammer.
Yeah, not to mention Orgrimmar, which is the capital of the orcs, is named after him, so it just shows you how much of an impact he made in that world.
Do you think there's going to be any problem with like
I don't think there's going to be any problems, just because WoW orcs are way bigger than Lord of the Ring orcs. And he's probably going to look at them and be like, let me show you how real orcs get down, brother. Orgrim Doomhammer, my Saw Gunner. Easy pick for me.
So now we're moving down the line to our Grenadier.
Slinger of 40 Mike. Nightmare of Defilade and Dead Space. Hard to pick this one.
Yeah.
Because there is no grenade launchers in this battle. More in the spirit of the position than anything. Third in seniority, I'm gonna pick from the Chronicles of Narnia franchise, Oatman.
Oatman.
Kind of an obscure character. You may have not heard of him because I'm pretty sure they don't call him by name, but he is the general of the Jadis army. He is the Minotaur.
Oh, the Minotaur!
And I picked him purely for the fact that he is a Minotaur. He is huge. He wields a giant axe.
Wow.
And that's not enough, because when the axe is done, or he loses it, he has a giant claymore on his back.
You've got kind of a cavalry and an infantryman in one.
Yes, you do. He can carry a lot of weight, because he is a Minotaur. I think it's like 4 or 5 heads in one swing you can decapitate with that axe.
Yeah, wide berth.
Even though he is a general and he's an amazing leader, he knows how to follow orders being underneath the Ice Witch. Plus, I mean, he's a freaking Minotaur, come on.
I know.
Yeah.
He
doesn't have a lot to say.
You have a supernatural creature on your side. I got one, but it's not going to be my pick. Not for the Grenadier.
What do you have, my friend?
My choice for the Grenadier, I wanted somebody aggressive. Somebody who would go out there and just charge into battle headlong, but who was also familiar with projectile weapons. And this character did fire catapults, he fires crossbows, and he's a master with a sword. Ladies and gentlemen, from the movie Willow, Mad Mardigan. The greatest swordsman who ever lived. That's right, Val Kilmer's character, Mad Mardigan. I love this character, man. From the first time you see him locked in that cage, you just know you're in for a character. And he's crazy.
He's mad.
Yeah, he's mad. He's Mad Mardigan. He defends an entire castle almost entirely by himself. He sets up all the traps, he gets all the crossbows, and he fires himself in a catapult onto a dragon head, fights the dragon, stabs it in the jaw. Mad Mardigan is a soldier, right? He's not a leader necessarily. He can inspire other people by his battle prowess, but he's never really in a leadership position. He stands with the Elwyn, and he's the greatest swordsman who ever lived.
Okay, man.
According to his own words.
Self-described greatest swordsman that has ever lived.
That's right. We'll find out in the Battle of Pelennor Fields.
We will find out. But for our last pick, our rifleman position pick, I think my soldier character, man, we'll give that guy a run for his money.
Well, let's find out, man. Who is it?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You have killed my father. Prepare to die.
Oh, dude.
Yes! The Princess Bride, Inigo Montoya, an amazing swordsman, has dedicated his life to the blade. He's got amazing hair and an amazing mustache. Not the most formidable.
He's a fencer.
He's a fencer, but he has studied the blade. He's learned all techniques of fencing, is our comedic relief. That is most important. In Cameron's fire team, somebody needs to be really funny.
Yeah,
so,
it's good for morale.
Great for morale. I mean, I have Oatman, I got Orgrim, I got Aragorn, all fierce warriors, very serious characters. I can't be telling all the jokes, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, plus when I'm sitting on Oatman's shoulders, because that's his primary role, to carry me into battle, I need Inigo Montoya to just be like, hey, and he's wasted.
Hey, Physic, are there rocks ahead?
Yeah.
Throw it, we all be dead.
He needs to be the greatest swordsman that has ever lived in order to defeat the Six-Fingered Man.
That's right.
Avenge his father.
For this battle, we could just pretend that the Six-Fingered Man has aligned himself with the forces of Sauron.
We all play a prank on him and be like, hey, Sauron, he's the Six-Fingered Man.
Six-Fingered Man is Sauron!
Six-Fingered Man is
Now
Sauron.
we're getting to
Plot
more.
twist. Inigo Montoya just screaming, you've killed my father! Prepare to die!
Folks, my final pick is a supernatural creature. From the short film Shapeshifters, from the anthology series of Love, Death, and Robots, Lieutenant Decker, who is a werewolf.
A werewolf.
Yes, in the short film, he is a werewolf in Afghanistan with the military unit. Things don't go too well, so he kind of...
Are you AWOL?
Yeah, he goes AWOL at the end because
Way to pick a coward.
he gets no love from his army unit. So I pretend that he went AWOL and he joined the forces of good at the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Good soldier.
I don't know if he's a good soldier if he goes AWOL, my friend.
Well, listen, he just needed the right command structure. I think he's going to feel right at home. He's fighting other supernatural beasts. And he's a werewolf, so we got that supernatural strength on our side.
Okay.
Lieutenant Decker, Love, Death, and Robots. That is my final choice. That rounds out my 4-man fire team.
Wild last pick, kind of out of left field, but
Yeah.
you know, it's your world, and I'm just living in it. On the back of a Minotaur.
There are teams, Cameron.
Yep.
But do you think that they will be able to hold off until help arrives?
My picks are a lot of aggressive warriors, so I have no problem doing a frontal assault fight, like sword on sword, just out there being the aggressor, but in a defensive structure. I think the pure strength of Orgrim and Oatman could, almost act as barriers and obstacles, you know, holding doors, bracing in case someone tries to, bring in the battering ram. But, that giant flaming one at the end, I don't know if they can stop that. But if it gets down to the 5-yard line, you're going to need my Rangers, and we have Aragorn. So I think we'll be able to really make a final stand and hold our ground until the Riders of Rohan come marching in, or riding in.
While we hold out, King Arthur, he's got the magical sword. He's a great leader. He's good on his feet in the field. So if we're out of Pelennor Field and we're on the offensive, I think we'd have a good chance. We got the shapeshifter, Lieutenant Decker. He's going around taking out cavalry coming at us. And even if Connor McLeod gets stabbed, he'll just come back. So we have an unlimited supply, and especially in the defensive position, I think we'd have a good shot because Mad Mardigan is obviously good at setting up defenses.
He's a good tactician, yeah.
Yeah, King Arthur's lived in the castle his whole life. He knows it inside and out. I'm sure he could get familiar with Minas Tirith very quickly. We got a freaking werewolf. I mean, we got a werewolf.
But more importantly, which fire team do you think is going to have the most success at the Battle of Pelennor, playing a defensive game? Let us know in that comment section, or drop down your fantasy picks in the comment section as well. We would love to see what you guys have in mind for fantasy characters.
That's all we have, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.
Which fire team do you think is going to perform the best at the Battle of Pelennor? Peloton? No, I keep saying
Pelennor.
Pelennor. I keep wanting to say Peloton.
Peloton Fields. Everybody in like a